In a world where trust is shattered and darkness looms, one man's journey from betrayal to redemption will captivate your heart.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't take them. If you have a relative that is a Christian,
yes,
allow them to take the kids.
I like that.
Because it's like, you may not want Jesus, but...
Thrown into a detention center, he grappled with the harsh reality of being imprisoned mentally and physically.
At that moment, I told myself, I'm not going behind bars no more.
Betrayed and deceived by the one he trusted most.
So now we're about to enter into this part of your life where you're cheated on.
It was rough for me. Bought teddy bears for her, flowers, and my heart just got squeezed and beat up on and crushed and stuck.
In the depths of his despair, he questioned God's plan.
I said, you don't know what just happened to me, Meg.
But amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope emerged. He found solace in the teachings of a higher power. And in that moment, he discovered a new purpose.
Out with the old,
in with the new.
In with the new. The Holy Spirit came inside of me.
From being lost to salvation, this is the story of Nick. Coming soon, this summer on July 1st on YouTube and all podcast platforms.
One would say I was atheist at the time, I guess, but a friend of mine mentioned deism. And so she was because I think I was on a rant on Facebook about you so-called Christians, because this was my thing was I was Paul, I was Saul. But anyway, now think about it. I was on this crusade of you guys, you Christians, need somebody to tell you that you're okay and how to be a nice person. I don't have to have that. I'm a nice person without him.
Welcome to the Call by God podcast with Adney Godet and myself, Nixon Sylvain. This show is about dialogues of biblical characters and testimonies of Christians who submitted to the will of God. Each week, we bring on one guest so that they can share their story of how they were called by God. I hope this show inspires you. Enjoy.
Thank you for joining us for another week to listen to Sister Cell's episode. I hope, trust, and pray that you enjoy. Be blessed.
Income tax hit. Now I'm gonna tell you something. As a poor person, income tax that's life. Like that's everything, man. So like we plan our lives as when I get my income tax, this is when I'm going to do this, and this, right. You know what I'm saying? So when I get my income tax, I'm leaving him. You know what I'm saying? I'm going back home. So, I'm thinking, right. When I get my income tax, I'm going to leave you, I ain't tell him that though, so I'm at work, my boss knows my plan that I'm going to leave, and she was like, you're pregnant. I was like, girl, what I'm trying to do. Why would I get pregnant or whatever? She said, you're pregnant. And I said, I'm not. And she said, I will go buy your test for you. She said, I will bank on it. And I was like, well, buy the test then, because I'm not buying it. And it better not be $1 one. It's got to be like the expensive test, because I need to make sure this is accurate. I want it to say either pregnant or not pregnant. I want the digital. And she was like, I will buy any test you want. She said, but you're pregnant. So we go to whatever place to go get the stuff. And they didn't have a public restroom. So we ended up going to Subway to use the bathroom. And so I went in the Subway, took the test. I don't know if I was ghost white or whatever, but it was not a happy thought. I was sick. And I came out that bathroom and I looked at her and I said, and she was just smiling. She was like, I told you, and I'm just like, this ain't it. This ain't what I wanted to do. I was finna go, I was going to go get my life together. I was going to go be a single mom. I was ready. This is it. And she was like, well, I don't know what you're going to do now, but I told you. She was just happy she told me. Like, that was it. So I ended up, I came home, told my children's father, I said, hey, I'm pregnant. And he says, okay. a couple of years ago, I had to have an abortion. But now you okay with it? Like, I mean, he was happy. So I was like, so you good with this? And he was like, yeah, I'm good with this. I was like, well, okay, then we gonna be good with it then. Okay. So I go to dinner. I mean, I tell my friend, I had a friend of mine who came, and we went to eat out to eat for lunch together and stuff. And we were talking and whatnot. And I was telling her about how God is so good, and he done showed me that I need to stay with my family, and keep with my family, because I just got blessed with a gift, another baby, and I wasn't planning on it, but it happened. That's the Lord telling me that I'm supposed to stay with my family. And she was just staring at me with a look of, girl, shut up look, like, because she knew my situation, what was going on in the house. So she was like all for me getting ready to go, And so I was telling her how good God is and how great, this was. And she was just staring at me. And I was like, what is wrong with you? I said, ain't God good? This is a gift from God. The baby is a gift from God. She looked at me and she said, did you ever think this was the devil? And I didn't say, and she went on right to eat. Like, she went back to eating after that. After she said that, she was just like, you ever think it was the devil? And she kept eating. And I was just stuck, because I had never thought about the possibility of Satan working in a certain way. I know that she wasn't talking about the baby being a curse or anything like that, but at that point I was so angry, not at her, but at God. I said, so y'all just playing chess
Right.
with my life? I'm trying to get better, God, and you just let this happen? What? I'm trying to get away from this situation that's not in your favor, that's not looked at, and you let the devil throw a baby in my face. Like, this is my thought process. Like, I was like, are you serious? This is insane to me. I said, okay, well, I don't believe in God anymore. That'll fix that. You're not going to play with my life. You're not going to be able to have me have ups and downs and look at me like, it's almost like I envisioned him and the devil up in heaven watching me, laughing. Like, I bet you I can get her to do this. I bet you I can get her to do this. And like, I didn't think that was fair. God, why do you let the devil do things to us if you know we're trying our best to do right? Wow. That hurt my heart. Why would he let this happen to me? Anybody tell me about the story of Job, I would have spit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that story. Don't tell me that story. Because, you talking about he gave him plus or whatever. But to me, it was like, no, he didn't get those kids back that he had. Like, they can't replace. That was my attitude about it, so I was very angry because people, I'm going to tell you something. You got to get in the word for yourself, because people will misinterpret scripture or just misinterpret characters in the word. For me, everybody that talked about Job said Job didn't sin. Job stood up like he was this and that, and he lost everything and he was great. And I was like, what? That's crazy. That is insane to me. So don't talk to me about Job, because I ain't Job. I'm going to be angry about my children. I'm going to be angry about my life. I'm going to be angry about the house, so don't talk to me about Job. That's why it's important, again, to get in the word for yourself, because people talking to you, now that I've read the Bible, I understand now what really happened. I understand. I overstand what was going on with Job. He wasn't like, what I'm saying? Like, the way they talking, he was like, oh, well, God got me. It's not that simple for Job. And it ain't that simple for me.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you for making it midway through this episode. We want to take a moment to sincerely thank each and every one of you who have been supporting our show. Your encouragement and positive feedback mean the world to us. We want to continue to bring you inspiring and thought-provoking content each week, and that's where we need your help. We kindly ask you to support our podcast by clicking on the link provided in the description below. Your support will enable us to grow, reach a wider audience, and continue to produce the quality content you enjoy. We truly appreciate your support and value your contribution to the Call by God podcast. Together, let's inspire and uplift others in their faith journey. Thank you once again for your continued support, and we look forward to bringing you more enlightening episodes in the future. God bless. Let me say this, because it's something you're saying, and I think we got to touch on it. I believe that boyfriend and girlfriend, when a dude decides that he want to live with a woman, I'm a strong believer that it could hinder them from getting a closer relationship with God. Dudes will live with a woman and he won't propose to her because dudes have a hard time making commitment. Just let the truth be told. Dudes just love women. And if it's not a dude that just like women, he like the thought of having the idea of a family or an idea of a marriage-like family. Like I have a shelter, I have a woman at home, she's cooking and she's cleaning, and she have my kids. But dudes will not. It'll take a dude years before they propose to a woman. And that could be detrimental to a woman that's really trying to see Christ and even to him. So I want you to stay on this point because I see this happens a lot. I'm sure this has happened since back then, and this still rapid. Even people will say like, "Oh, I have no choice," and so I'm staying with him. But I'm a person type of ability. I tell these women, my heart goes out to women because I watch my mom go through this. I watch my mom go through several dudes, and I'll be telling these women like, "These dudes ain't for you. They just want a number one," because that's what dudes do. They say, "Man, I got my number one. This is my number one chick," and they have other chicks on the side. And they'll be like, "Yeah, I got my family." I had a guy walk in a barbershop talking about, "Oh, yeah, I live with my baby mama. Yeah, she had my child, but I got other side chicks on the side that I'm doing in," you know what I mean? And then I say to these women, like, why you don't just leave him? If he haven't proposed to you like within a year, or I don't know the standard now, 1 year or less, run. Don't try to build a house. Don't try to boyfriend and girl. "Oh, this is my family." No, that's not the standard. The standard is husband, wife, children. Mm-hmm. That's the standard. Because what we trying to do, we try to put God in it. "Oh yeah, God is going to bless my family." No, that in God's eyes, that is not a family. That's why the man is the head of the household. Then you got the wife, the woman, and then you got the children. So I want you to explain some of those dynamics. I know you said you felt convicted, you wasn't going to church, and then you was getting pulled in so many ways. And now here's baby number 3. Now you hate God and all of this. Your relationship with God is going downhill now because it's going on a downhill spiral. Because the minute a person, I mean, it's good to have those emotions, but when you say like, "I don't believe in God no more," you done literally say, "All right, devil, you could come in now. You could really come in." So some people do that inadvertently, not knowing that's what they're doing. They're inviting the devil. It's like you get the devil invitation. "Devil, you could come in. Now that I don't believe in God, you might as well come in now." Continue to explain those dynamics because I wanted you to, and I'm glad you share that because a lot of women get stuck. A relationship could send you straight to hell. Before I gave my life to the Lord, and this was like life after high school. And I know this is not about me, but I just want to make this point for men that's listening to this episode.
Yeah.
The first woman that took my virginity, she said, well, you're out of high school now, and you might as well just move out your parents' house. We could have our own family. But I knew what was shared with me when I was young. I used to go to a church, Baptist church, and they'd be like, "If you live with a woman and you have fornication, you going to hell." Cause my brothers and I, we used to go to church and we used to look at girls. We used to go there for girls. We used to look at them cute little girls and cute little dress when we was kids. So we used to go there looking for girls. When the preacher used to see us looking at them girls, he say, "Stop looking at those women. You don't be living no women, or you gonna go to hell." And I'll look at the preacher like this. I ain't gonna look at those women. So that always stuck in my mind. So when I was in my early 20s,
good.
I always had in my mind, you know what? If I ain't married to a woman, then I'm not going to live with her. I mean, I had a lot of women that I've gotten pregnant throughout the years, and I still had refused to live with them because I was like, I don't.
That's stuff.
Yeah. Because in God's eyes,
that's the other part.
That's not a real family. It's like a husband, and I didn't want to be a husband because I always told my family, my aunt, I said, look, I don't want to marry women because I used to think that women are devils. So I said, I don't want to marry no women. Women are devil. They're evil. And I used to say, you know what? I just want to do what I do. If they get pregnant, they get pregnant, and then that's it. So now I wanted the pleasure, but I did not want the commitment. Most men are like that. They'll say, you know what? I'll live in a home with you. This is our family. Don't we look beautiful together on social media? Don't worry about God. You don't have to go to worship. You got baby number one. You already feel, you happy, bundle of joy. You got baby number two. Look at us on Christmas. We taking Christmas pictures. Then baby number three come. And
matching pajamas.
Yeah, matching pajamas.
Gotta have matching pajamas.
Share that. Continue sharing that. I like how you open up about that. And you helping sisters out. And I thought I'll help brothers out. That's why I had to say, interject. I got to help brothers out.
Yeah.
Brothers,
please do.
If you don't put a ring on it, you need to leave. And sisters, if he ain't putting in a ring on it, I would say year one or less, it's time to go. What Beyonce say? Put a ring on it. Put a ring on it.
Okay.
Got to go. Go ahead, Sister Cells.
But you ain't got to live with nobody. A lot of times people think you can't get to know anybody until you live with them. So that's what they think. But you can get to know somebody, but you got to be aware of a lot of things first before you can see signs in, just dating someone, talking on the phone to someone. So, my thing was, after year, 1 and 2, okay, so I'm going to tell you a trap that'll get a lot of women. One of the most common traps is I'm married, but me and my wife are separated. Don't get caught up in that. Somebody else's husband is not your husband. Okay. So my children's father was already married and he was separated from his wife. Like they weren't together or nothing, but still they weren't divorced. That's not my husband. So, and I'm sitting up here like, well, okay, well, we'll work with it. Low self-esteem here kicking in. We're going to have to work with what we got because we ain't worthy to get something that's actually available. We're not worthy enough to get somebody that's actually ready to step up to the plate and be somebody. So we're going to work with what we got here. So let me go and fix him. Here we go building this thing, So I got to where I was like, okay, well, I'll wait, we can work on the divorce, but come live down here with me for now. He came, he was like, okay, cool. That was a red flag right there because dude was ready to drop everything in his own state. What do you have? Nothing? Because you just left your state to come somewhere you've never been before. But okay. I thought it was a grand gesture, but we can fool ourselves into a lot of stuff, so we could talk ourselves into some things and make things cute, make things pretty. But to be honest, come on, and I'm not even knocking women at a certain age that may be going through this, but somebody's telling you this right now that this ain't it. This ain't it. And I promise you, it's not the end of the world. Oh my goodness. That's what another fear was.
Yes. Share that.
Well, I can't get anybody else. I'm a kid down. You know what I'm saying? 2 kids in, like what? Like nobody's going to want me now, so we get scared. there's let's just talk about it. Detachment issues. Nobody ever wanted me. He's the first guy that I feel like has shown me true love. I'm not leaving that. Matter of fact, I'm finna show you the love everybody else missed out on. I'm finna prove to you that I'm finna be the best woman you ever had in your life. I'm gonna do that for you because you love me, because I didn't feel it anywhere else. So I'm gonna zero in on you. And I mean, there's so many reasons of why women will stay in a relationship that is going nowhere fast, because those years add up. They go fast.
Yes.
Like I said, I was with him 13 years, like 13 or 14 years. It was a lot. It was a long time. And after year 2, that's when I stopped asking him about a divorce. I was tired. I'm not even going, it ain't even beautiful anymore after 2 years. It's more of about time after 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want that. I didn't want, now I'm not going to be shocked. Even if you do propose, like it's not going to be a, oh yes, and crying and all that stuff. It's going to be yeah, hurry up. Like, what took you so long? You didn't make it great anymore. So I didn't want, and then I didn't want to be the one that begged somebody to marry me. So it was, you're going to get your divorce when you get your divorce. That's another thing. Stop telling men what to do. And I'm not talking about on this scale of washing dishes. I'm talking about stop giving men the answers to the test. We can't do that. We can't. I could teach him I can tell him how to love me, but what he does, that's something different. Action speaks so much louder. It's a real deal thing. And I promise you, every time I've thought about leaving, I felt some type of sadness. And the reason why is because I future faked myself. I thought about the wedding. I thought about the life that we were building. I thought about everything. I thought about our grandchildren. So if I leave him right now, all of that's out the window. We got to stop that. Stop imagining things. I hate to say it like that, but for real, we are just psyching ourselves up. And that's what they bank on. To be honest with you, they bank on us. They'll drop little hints about marriage and stuff. Don't pay no attention to none of those hints. If I marry you, you gonna do this? Oh yeah. And then you thinking in your head about the wedding dress and stuff now, they psyching your head up. Stop letting them drop them on you. They don't care. They will move if they want to move. But for the most part, those words mean nothing. So stop. When the man mentions marriage to you, if he ain't on his knee with a ring, pay it no, never mind. It's nothing. Stop future faking yourself. Stop thinking about everything that you could do, because it's not that it ain't going to happen or that it can't happen. It's just not right now. It's not reality right now. What's going on right now? What is it? And what's going on right now? If it ain't lining up with what the future stuff you telling yourself, then you're lying to yourself. You're future faking yourself. Your brain is giving yourself a pump fake. And you jumping for it. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I play sports. So, you know what I'm saying? So, but your brain is pump faking and you jumping for it. And he's not even serious.
So let's talk about this. So baby number 3 coming along, right? But I want, as much I know you had, I'm sure you end up having. I want you to talk about baby number 3 briefly, but after baby number 3, I want you to talk about, and you could walk us through that process as well, where you talk about baby number 3. Also want you to talk about what was the straw that broke the camel's back for you to run back to the Lord? So talk about baby number 3. And I really, cause it's like a movie. Like, I'm like, man, like all of this going on in her world, like she don't want nothing to have to do with God no more. Like now, cause you invited the devil, the devil has full access. Now now I want to know baby number 3 briefly. And what was the straw that broke the camel's back?
I guess during this point, my oldest now, you got to pay attention to this. My oldest is, can't remember how old she was while I was pregnant. Let's see. My daughter is 10 now. She's 21. So my daughter was 11. Very impressionable age, correct? So she's paying attention to me. Your daughters are watching. So it's a big thing. So my 11-year-old daughter is watching me. She's watched me live with a man for most of her life without being married. And might I say, my mother wasn't married to my stepdad until I was out the house. So I watched that, and here I am living with a man. So there's that. And so she's watching me. So now at 11 years old, I'm pregnant, and I have a little boy, my little boy too. And no God. I denounced that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know what? If he is real, that's some messed up stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you messing with me. I don't like this, you know? So, I was angry. I turned my back. And, so now I'm on a crusade. You better not talk about the Lord. You better not mention it. Now, mind you, my family is church now. So, including my mother, you know, she got on in, you know, she stayed with it, you know, so bless her heart, you know, I love it for her. So, my mom's like, you know, y'all go to church, screw church, never going to church, blah, blah this, blah, blah that. It was just, it wasn't there, you know, in our household. So I have the baby, you know, and looking back now, I can see all the blessings that were, he was protecting me. He was keeping me, man, like so many things that he was doing looking back, you know, and I often look back. That's a big thing, you know, check his track record because he's never failed you, ever. Even things that you thought were so bad, look back at them and say, were they that bad? Because what happened after? You know, what happened? How did it unfold? What went down? And you're like, this, what I thought would have been great, had nothing on what actually happened. You know what I mean? Like it just works out, you know. So ended up having the baby. We're living life. You know, one would say I was atheist at the time, I guess, but a friend of mine mentioned deism. And so she was because I think I was on a rant on Facebook about you so-called Christians, because this was my thing was I was Paul, I was Saul. But anyway, now think about it. I was on this crusade of you guys, you Christians need somebody to tell you that you're okay and how to be a nice person. I don't have to have that. I'm a nice person without him. I'm a good person without him. So if y'all need help with being a good person, then that's on y'all, and you're stupid because you don't understand that just being a good person is the key to everything, right? So that was my little rant. And she told me, my friend inboxed me and she was like, hey, have you ever heard of deism? Nah, what's that? And she was like, well, it's acknowledging that there is a God, but also believing that he doesn't interfere. So I was like, that sounds different. So I went and looked up deism, and I did some research on it, and I was like, oh, but they're thankful though. So with deism, it's like you're still you're whoever you are, good or bad, quote unquote good or bad person, but you're whoever you are. Nobody's gonna hurt you or harm you for doing things. You're not gonna get punished. There's no heaven or hell, none of that. So, but what you can do is thank. It was a smidge away from thanking the universe. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a smidge away from that, but it was basically, just be thankful for everything good, and anything bad happens, it's nothing. It's just bad stuff happens. And so that for me was a way to relax. I don't know. It was a way for me to still feel like, okay, there's a God, but I wasn't as angry because he doesn't do a difference. There's no devil thing going on. It's just he made us and he's like, oh, aren't they cute? And they do their thing and he doesn't interfere. So that was more relaxing for me to feel like God doesn't interfere. So now I can believe in a God, but I don't have to do anything. I don't have any punishment. Meanwhile, I have an 11-year-old that's watching me do this. I'm talking to her about it. So I'm, oof, like that's heavy because she's a non-believer now. That's heavy. Your kids are watching you. Do you know how my heart breaks that she is a non-believer? Because I feel like I personally had a hand in that. So, and if I try to talk to her about the Lord, who are you? You've flip-flopped plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? This is what she's watched me do. So now I can't even talk to her about the Lord because I'm a hypocrite. How dare you? When you were 20 something, you weren't in the church. You made it just fine. Like it's a whole bunch of stuff in there that just, so I called myself a deist at the time. And I basically was just thankful for everything, like anything good happened or anything or not bad that happened. I was thankful for it. Right. And I'll say, thank you. I'd be like, man, thank you. Thank you. But I never said to who or anything like that. Right. And so, one day I ended up getting a job that I needed. I don't know. It was just so many things that kept just falling into place over and over and over and over again. It was like I couldn't contain that I needed to give thank you to somebody. I wanted to. I was like, everything that's happening to me is great. And I'm happy and I'm okay because I left dude. I ended up leaving him. I ended up moving out when she was like, matter of fact, I think I came home from the hospital to Arkansas, not with him. You know what I mean? So I didn't even go to him after the hospital. I left, and me and my kids out there in Arkansas were living all right. I found a place. I got the job that I wanted that was in my concentrate. Oh, by the way, I graduated college. So, I ended up graduating college. That was an accomplishment. That was before my baby though, but I still graduated college. I got a job in that field. Everything was working good and it was in Arkansas. So I moved back to Arkansas. I was just doing my thing without my baby father. This is the stuff that I was wanting to happen before. So everything's going good. And I was like, man, I'm thankful, but I said, this can't be nothing but the Lord doing this. Like, it just didn't make sense anymore. Like, I was like, why am I even saying thank you if it ain't the Lord? Like, come on now. This ain't nobody but God doing this stuff for you. He's making a way for you to make it, like he's trying to Sorry, that's my alarm. He's trying to show you he's still here. Even when you turn your back, I'm here for you because you are a believer and I know you are. You know, sometimes we can do that to our children. We can sit up here and we know who they are, but we go ahead and let them just kind of float away a little bit, but we still got them on the back end type of stuff. That's daddy. That's my father. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what a father does. I never had a father, or so I didn't think I had one, but wow, what one do I have? This one is amazing. And everything was happening. And I was just like, I'm going to church. I got to give him some praise. Like, I can't contain it. You know what I'm saying? So I walked back. Listen, I walked into church. This is my family's church now. The ones I done told, I don't believe in God. Don't talk to me about God. I'm this, and this. I didn't even tell them that I was coming, but I came and they looked and they was like, welcome back. And hugs, no judgment, no nothing. It was just straight up love. Like, they welcomed me back to the fold. Like, and I think attendance had a little bit of problem, like a little bit of weight on it. You know what I'm saying? They were like, hey, we happy to get a member, you know? They have a lot of members, so it's just my whole family in there, you know. So they was happy to just have another member, but it was me too, yay, you know. So it was just they killed two birds with one stone, you know. But you know, I want to stress though that sometimes I get it. We don't know when we're going. We don't know when we're going. We don't know the time nor the hour, but God has a way of moving in a way that if it's meant for that person to really take hold, he gonna make it happen. It's gonna happen. And I thank the Lord for giving me the time. He gave it to me. I'm so undeserving. I turned my back. He's not real. He's not helping me here. I said it. I can never take that back on the internet. If somebody went back to the archives, they could find that post that I said that there was no God. Matter of fact, if it ever pops up on my memory, I'm going to share it again, but I'm going to have a testimony above it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to share that because I want them to know where I was and where I am and where I'm going. Lord have mercy. So yeah, it was just, you know, that happened. And so I went to church. I started going to church and everything. And then, you know, when stuff started going good, you know, the devil didn't have me anymore. See, the devil, you know, he don't have to mess with you when you're out. So, I mean, I was his, you know, so it was kind of like, you know, I'm, you know, let her live her life. Let me go on. And then, so it's going to church, all this stuff, praising the Lord. And we let our guards down, you know, in the good times. We let the guards down. And I will say that a woman's true love, like they really want a family. We really do want to be a mother. We really do want that family unit to take care of. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, sometimes you kind of let the devil back in. You do it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I did it to myself by allowing my children's father to come back into my life. So I let my children's father come back. And I think we stayed together probably like 5 more years after that. Maybe, I want to say 5 years, maybe 4 or 5. But I let him come back, and that was the I don't even know how to say it, but you know, I just found out some things that was going on in the household that were not appropriate. Found that out. And it just destroyed me. Because I'm supposed to be my daughter's protector. And I didn't protect her. And this had been going on for years. I didn't know. But so that destroyed me. And the only way I found out was because my daughter was acting out, like just doing terrible things, just running away, or, you know what I'm saying, just talking back and having this nasty attitude, telling me I'm jealous of her. How am I jealous of you? You're my kid. I love you. I want to see you succeed. What do you mean? Like, there's no jealousy here, sweetheart. And, she would just talk the most savage. It was like I was an enemy. You know what I mean? Like she was just mad at me all the time, and she was angry at everybody, it seemed like. So she was fighting people all the time. Like, it was just, and she could fight though. She could throw some hands. I really wish I had put her in boxing because she was a fighter. So much so that some children, I guess, got in a group or something to where nobody could really beat her up. So they kept sending people to fight her. And I don't know if they were at school or whatever, but either way, I was kind of like the neighborhood mom of our neighborhood. And I was still with my children's father. Everything was cool, but my daughter was acting out. I didn't know why. And so I was sitting outside. I'm telling you, I had the basketball hoop outside. Kids knew they can come in and out. We never locked the door. I love kids. Love kids and elderly people. That's my thing, so, and animals. So, kids would come and go in my house, out of my house. It didn't matter to me. And so I seen some kids driving slow by my house. So I was like, what they doing? I was like, and me, I'm one of them. Hey, what y'all okay? So I'm like, hey, y'all all right? They was like, yeah, we looking for, my daughter's name. And so I was like, oh, she in the house. Yeah. Like, what you mean? Yeah, she's in the house. All right. So they park, get out. And then all of a sudden, like, there's like 10 other cars that come around the corner and stuff. And everybody's parked. And it's like children, like teenagers everywhere getting out of their cars. And so I'm like, what's going on here? So I walk up to the kids and I was like, what's going on? They was like, we looking for, your daughter. And I was like, well, she's in the house. What's going on? And then my daughter comes out of the house.
Thank you for listening to Sister Falon Cell's story. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes and be blessed.
That's it for now. But before we go, please continue to listen, subscribe, and share our podcast. Also, if you want to support our show, please scroll down to the bottom of the show notes and click on the link that says Buy Me a Coffee. We would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for listening. And remember, God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. And also, Jesus Christ loves you. Thank you.
Wait, there's more. What if today was your last day on earth? Would you be ready to meet your Maker? Well, Jesus Christ has given us the good news. He told his disciples in Mark 16:15-16, and he said to them, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He who believes and is baptized will be saved, but he who does not believe will be condemned." Jesus Christ has instructed his children to share and preach the gospel, which is the good news, which means that Jesus Christ came and that he was sacrificed, he was buried, and he rose on the third day. By believing and by repenting and confessing and being baptized, you will be saved. So it is your choice. Jesus Christ will not force you. You've heard the message, you heard personal testimonies, but this is your opportunity to give your life to Christ. Don't wait until tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. So I hope you submit to the will of God and give your soul to Christ. Be blessed.